As the driver of a Uniting Care bus or a people mover, you have a role no less important than being the captain of a ship or the pilot of an aircraft. You are responsible for those on board, and you have the task and responsibility of navigating carefully and safely through a complex and demanding environment. As with any vehicle type, your journey preparation, focus, and understanding of what's happening around you is essential before, during, and after you get behind the wheel. In this video, we'll look more closely at the operation of the specialised lifting, seating and restraints most frequently fitted to Uniting Care buses. The list beside me shows the chapters of the video and the times where each section commences. The original instructional videos used in the following chapters are provided courtesy of Vehicle Access Solutions, a supplier to Uniting Care. By itself, this video should not be considered a complete source of information for the operation of modified passenger vehicles and driver information. For detailed policy and procedures, please consult your local fleet operations documentation. But for now, let's get started by reviewing how wheelchair lifts operate on some of our buses, minibuses and people movers. Firstly, let's have a look at the operation of a Braun wheelchair lift. Turn the loader on at the switch and you'll know it's on by the light. The controller has 4 operating buttons: up, down, fold and unfold. Always take precautions when using mechanical devices and use safe working practices. When unfolding the lift, make sure that the drop zone is clear and continue to check it's clear of obstacles, including your feet, whenever you're using the hoist. The lift should always be operated on flat ground for passengers and your own safety. And the end flaps also work most effectively on flat surfaces. The unit has a manual backup system in case the hoist loses power. Insert the handle into the valve point and turn it to the left, lowering the platform. To manually stow the hoist, make sure that the valve is turned right prior to pumping the platform back into the vehicle. Let's have a look at the operation of the Evolution E7000 wheelchair hoist. With this hydraulic hoist, the isolation key can be removed. However, it's generally kept in place in the off position to prevent draining power from the battery. Turn the key on and you'll see the orange safety lights flashing. There's a safety procedure sticker on the power pack and a safe working load sticker visible on the hoist. The yellow safety hook on the right-hand side of the lift should be in the upright position. When the unit hasn't been used, it will release pressure and the hook will come into play, preventing the unit from unfolding. There are 4 operating buttons on the controller: F for fold, Un for unfold, U for up, and D for down. The hand controller is also magnetic, making it easy to secure. In addition to the hand control, there's an operating toggle in the grab handle that will power the lift up and down. Always take precautions when using mechanical devices and use safe working practices. When unfolding the lift, make sure that the drop zone is clear and continue to check that it's clear of obstacles, including your feet, whenever you're using the hoist. The lift should always be operated on flat ground for passengers and your own safety. If the ground is uneven, then the end flaps will not sit flush. Apply pressure with your foot and wheel your passenger on. Guide the wheelchair onto the platform as far forward as possible, as this will most likely put the majority of the weight at the load centre of the lift, and then lock the brakes. Refer to Uniting Care workplace policy on where you can be positioned during the lift, and continue to communicate your actions to the passenger, ensuring their comfort. Keep one arm on the wheelchair as they're raised, and once fully level, unlock the brakes and push the wheelchair forward enough to get access from inside and then wheel them into position. Then relock the brakes. If it's a powered wheelchair, you can instruct the passenger to drive forward. At the end of your journey, wheel the chair back onto the platform again, keeping the chair footplates as far forward as possible, and lock the brakes. Then, with you on the ground and from the rear, you can adjust the chair to a better position if needed. Let your passenger know that they're about to disembark and lower them down. Now let's have a look at the Q-Straint Series 3 restraints. Attach the two front QR2 Series 1 restraints to the two front designated anchor points. The rear belts will consist of two 3 series, and these are noticeably larger than the front restraints. Once you've secured all restraints, you can tighten the load. Attach the integrated lap belt to the rear restraints. Lap belts should go over the least number of bars as possible, aiming to fit between the cushion and the backrest. Position the belt on the passenger's hip with the buckle on the side opposite the sash belt. If not already fitted, attach the sash belt to the pillar or wall fitting and bring it over the passenger's shoulder and attach it to the lap belt. Sash belts can be on the left or right side of the vehicle depending on setup. The static sash belt should be tight but allow about a hand width of room for comfort. This restraint combination has a combined load of 150 kilos. Refer to instruction cards and written documentation when attaching and tensioning any restraints. You may also need to use the Q-Straint Series 5 restraints in the workplace. To do so, move the wheelchair into position central to the anchor points on the floor. Turn the wheelchair off and first apply the front 5 series restraints. These restraints have a double hook, restricting their attachment at times. The restraints at the rear must also face away from the wheelchair. Larger wheelchairs are heavy, they can weigh more than 85 kilos. The vehicle is equipped with a number of blue loop belts. You must attach 2 of these to each anchor point at the back by feeding them around and then back through the loop. Then attach the double hook restraints. A single loop can be used at the front if needed. These can now be tightened to firmly secure the wheelchair. The rear V-belt is then locked into place. Attach the hooks to the anchor points on the wheelchair and then tighten the ratchets. This configuration has a combined load rating of 340 kilos. The next step is to separately mount the lap belt. These should go over the least number of bars as possible, aiming to fit between the cushion and backrest. Position the belt on the passenger's hip with the buckle on the side opposite the sash belt. If they're not already fitted, attach the sash belt to the pillar or wall fitting. Bring it over the passenger's shoulder and attach it to the lap belt. Sash belts can be on the left or right side of the vehicle depending upon the setup. The sash belt should be tight but allow about a hand width of room for comfort. Check your passenger and the restraints prior to proceeding with your journey. And remember to refer to instruction cards and written documentation when attaching and tensioning restraints. To use the Techsafe double folding seat, push the lever down behind the aisle side seat and collapse the backrest. Then push the lever on the inside of the seat leg down and fold the seat against the wall of the vehicle, ensuring it locks into place. When you're unlocking the seat, remember to pull the leg out first, then unlock the seat via the base. Keeping your feet clear of the base, unfold the seat and ensure that it locks into place and then unfold the backrest. Guide to loading a 3-wheelchair bus. Firstly, take the load restraints out of their box and apply them to the front trucks. Then navigate the first wheelchair passenger to the front right-hand position and attach the restraints to the designated anchorage points. Once the rear restraints are attached, apply the lap sash belt and make sure it's not uncomfortably tight for your passenger. Once you've secured the front right-hand position, welcome your support passenger into the single seat on the left-hand side. Next, guide the second wheelchair into the front left-hand spot and attach the chair restraints as done for the first chair. Refer to the VAS restraint chart at the rear of the bus to determine which lap belts are required. Before getting the third wheelchair into the vehicle, attach the front double hook restraints and then continue to follow correct loading and restraint methods to secure the chair. The V-belt may only be required at certain times, so refer to the vehicle restraint chart to see if it's needed. And once again, remember to refer to instruction cards and written documentation when attaching and tensioning restraints. Whilst you're securing your passengers, you can enter and exit the vehicle from the rear door, but ensure that you maintain 3 points of physical contact at all times. Once they're safely in place, make a final assessment of your passengers to make sure that they're comfortable and ready for your journey. What we've looked at so far in this video talks about some very specific vehicle modifications. But before you click stop, here's a few more important considerations. On the road, nothing is more important than you, the driver. And your well-being, attitude and preparation for any journey plays a big part in minimising risk. So before you start any journey, do your pre-start checks. Record the odometer start reading and don't forget the reading at the end of your journey. Check the oil and fluid levels, check the fuel level. Make sure that the steering, car horn and indicators are functioning properly. Check the brakes, the brake lights and the tyre pressures are okay. Look for any damage to the vehicle, its exterior, lights and glass. And make sure that the doors and door handles are all working correctly. Is the vehicle clean? Are the seat belts in good working condition with no signs of wear or damage? Are loose items safely secured? And minimise driving distraction by putting your phone on Do Not Disturb and out of your reach. And of course, if you do find any faults, record them in the logbook. And if they will affect the safety of the vehicle or its roadworthiness, don't use it and report the defect to your manager. Make sure you're licensed to drive the bus type and, if required, any bus driver authorisations are current. And if you're operating remotely, ensure that you have a documented journey management plan in place with your management. And if you're going to reverse, visually check around your vehicle for obstacles or other people and take it slow. And remember, anytime you're out on the road, if the vehicle does break down, you'll find the roadside assist contact number in the Smart Fleet folder. Now to wrap up, please don't drive if you're fatigued. Plan your journey. Maintain a safe following distance between you and other road users. Be vigilant and prepared to stop when entering intersections and be respectful to other road users. But above all, drive safe.